Hungry and cold, wet from the blowing rain, migrants lined up on this New York City street to receive clothing, food, and advice to navigate their arrival in the U.S.
This is a humanitarian crisis that started with violence and instability in South America, and it is being accelerated by American political dynamics.
Since the spring, thousands of migrants from Central and South America have been bused into New York City, Chicago, and Washington, D.C., many of them from Arizona and Texas, where Governor Greg Abbott used them to criticize the Biden administration's immigration policy.
I think the Biden administration has failed, and specifically on supporting asylum seekers and making sure that they are provided with the supports that they need.
Immigration advocate Murad Awada greeted many of the migrants arriving at New York's main bus terminal.
I think it was a ton of different feelings at that moment, but actual anger for Governor Abbott to be using people as political pawns in a moment where people were seeking refuge and he was actually trying to advance his own political brand.
New York City had built a tent shelter here on Randall's Island across from Manhattan to house 500 single migrant men. But by the time the construction had finished, the number of migrants arriving in the city dropped because the Biden administration started sending new arrivals back to Mexico. Back on October 12th, the White House expanded its use of a Trump-era pandemic public health rule to turn back asylum seekers arriving at the border. This nurse from Venezuela was one of the lucky ones who made it to New York City.
I feel like we're being used politically. Of course, the United States does not want to give support to Venezuelans. Because yes, the United States knows the current situation our country has with President Maduro.
Some 26,000 migrants have sought shelter in New York City this year. They fled violence and political oppression, only to arrive in a country seething with inner-city violence and where more than 500,000 of its own citizens are homeless. Frank Uciardo, TRT World, New York.